possibly be the most boring, just unmotivating garden tour in your life. Sorry about that. But I just mentally can't really deal with all the different things I have going on with my garden right now. And I've tried. I'll just jump in. This row right here is supposed to be Dulcina beans across the front, which are already starting to turn yellow leaved, and they're getting tall and leggy and just falling over. They don't look that great, but who knows. Along the back is supposed to be state half runner beans, but again, they didn't germinate well. So I've come out here several times and replanted, and they just don't want to come up. And they're leggy and falling over, and certainly not climbing on anything. So it's very depressing. This right here, things are coming up, but only after I've planted 3 or 4 different types of beans and limas, and they kind of just hit a certain stage and they don't seem to be doing that much. I have one of them that's trying to grab the fence and climb. Well, I do have another one down there. It's trying to grab the fence and climb. But they're just not growing that fast. The only thing that is growing fast, my friend will be happy to see this, is my melitons. They're going over my little arbor thing that I built. I'm happy about that because I wanted something to go over it. I have planted 4 different plantings of cucumber seeds on this backside. This is a dragon's egg that is coming up, and it's starting to climb the arbor, thank goodness. On this end down here, I have 3 plants coming up right now, but who knows what they are. I've planted Bayet Alpha, I've planted Slicers, I've planted Dragon's Egg. I don't even know what's coming up, and they're still little, so we'll see. Who knows? But I would love to have something climb this arbor. That would be ideal, but it's just not happening very much. I did replant my corn. I had killed my Gerlide corn that I planted here, and I came back and I planted some of my landrace seeds from my Onavino corn. That's a tall field corn, and it's coming up and popping up pretty good. I need to hill it up. I need to kind of, not much, but just rake some of the dirt to it. I'll get to it when I get to it. It's become just a laborious thing for me right now, and it'll get done if it gets done. I'm trying, but it'll get done if it gets done. All along here, I have planted so many pole beans that I can't even tell you what's planted. I planted some mixed landrace beans. I've planted Christmas limas, and I've planted again when things didn't seem to come up. And all I have right now is this little hodgepodge of leggy looking things. Now obviously something's wrong with my soil back here. Back here I put some sea minerals, but that was about it. No cover crop, no lime, no anything, and I'm paying for it. I have all my little mounds that were supposed to have winter squash growing on it, and they just barely have anything. I've planted so many seeds in here and nothing wants to come up. They come up and they look sickly. See, these look sickly when they're coming up. This little hill has a few things coming up. It's different things. I don't even know what it is. But at least they're coming up. And going down, it's the same story. I resorted to just planting some striped bush beans on all these little rows. On all these little rows here. Now this row here, I've planted them several times, and a couple of them are just now coming up, and one came up, but the rest of the row just won't grow anything. Just this row. It's weird. This row kind of had good germination, and I can see where some of them are fixing to come up right there. So this row might end up with a whole row. That row did good, and that row did good, and these other rows down here I've never really mitigated. The original things I planted in them aren't coming up, And so I just don't care anymore. Radishes, everything, they look terrible. A lot of the green you see in here is weeds, because I need to get back here and weed. We started this thing of rain, you know, we had a lot of rain, thunderstorms and everything, and the weeds just popped up. Of course, they'll grow no matter what. So I need to get back here with my little stirrup hoe thing and start weeding, but there again, it'll happen when it happens. You know, hey dude, whatever. My corn is the only thing giving me a little hope. My corn is popping up. It's snapping up. I've got a couple of different kinds. That's one of my problems, is I don't remember what I planted for some of this, but it's doing okay. I'll show it to you real quick. This rain has helped my corn jump up, and for that I'm thankful. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows that I know is Hickory King corn. It's yellow Hickory King. I believe that's what it's called. The next rows, the next 7 rows I should say, is sweet corn. I know that. This Hickory King takes longer, so I planted it, not really worried about it all pollinating at the same time. Things can happen, so who knows. But right now it's not tasseling and worrying me. The sweet corn over here, these 7 rows are starting to tassel. You can see it right here. They're all starting to tassel, which is expected, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it to do it first. And hopefully it'll all start tasseling right here. All this is sweet corn. And hopefully it'll start making its ears and everything. And of course be ready before my Hickory King is doing the same thing. That's the plan. That's why I didn't mind planting them right by each other. And I don't freak out about corn cross-pollinating anyway. It just doesn't bother me. But I can't remember what I planted here. It's 7 rows of sweet corn. I could have swore, and I might have even told y'all, that it was candy corn, because I thought that's what my grandson picked out, and I thought that's what I planted. But this is not candy corn. Candy corn has reds and purples in the leaves and in the stalks. I've grown candy corn before, and this is not it. So I went back and looked. I had made something on my computer, but I did everything in my garden except my corn patch on that graph. So I have no idea what this is, and I just have no memory of what I planted. So it's going to be a surprise, or I may not even know if it comes out bicolor or yellow or whatever. I may not really know what it is. I'm good with that. I'm okay with it. It's just that I can't really share with y'all what I did. So that's kind of confusing, but you know, hey dude, whatever. That seems to be the theme this year. Now down here, you can see where the sweet corn ends. It ends, it does great, it stops. These 4 rows, I planted yellow dent corn, and it germinated terribly. Anything you see tall came up in the beginning. I did replant, and some of that came up. You can see it throughout here, if you can see it with all the grass. Some of these, they did come up, but I never came out here and fertilized them again. I just forgot about them. I just kind of ignored them. And so what I replanted didn't come up. So all these stragglers are all I have of this yellow dent corn. It'll make or it won't. It'll pollinate or it won't. I believe it's a longer corn like that Hickory King that's going to take longer. So this over here will tassel and get corn and make corn, and then this will come in later like the Hickory King. Well, what if it crosses? I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. We're either going to eat it. I may save some seeds off of a particularly robust looking stalk or something, but I don't care if it crosses. It's okay. It's just that I'm kind of mad at myself for not coming back and fertilizing. And as you can see, I have a blanket of beautiful grass and weeds growing up amongst all this corn because I never came back and tilled it up in any way or weeded it out. I was going to push mow it over the weekend, and I can't get my push mower to work. So I'm hitting on 0 here lately, y'all. I'm just hitting on 0, and it's wearing on me. Down here at the end, I planted some blue Guatemala winter squash, and they're doing all right. I noticed today some of their leaves look a little bit yellow, but they have been looking pretty good. And I'm actually getting some squash coming on here. I have another one over here. They'll look kind of green and yellow at first, and then later on they kind of turn blue. I had a lot of male blooms, so I wasn't sure I was going to get anything for a while, but then these popped up. So I'm I plant things at the end of my corn, kind of hoping to have it spread and keep weeds down, but I let my grass get away from me, and my tiller doesn't work. Doing everything with a hoe and everything is just backbreaking for me, and my push mower is not working. So it is what it is this year. It'll grow or it won't. I did have one of my blue Guatemalans die, so I came back the other day and planted a few pumpkin seeds right here. I think it might just be Howden pumpkins or something, and they're coming up. Hopefully, maybe I'll get some pumpkins out of this patch. But you know, hey dude, whatever. What'll make will make, what doesn't doesn't. My back garden is looking a little more full than it did. A little more, I guess. Not much. I had to replant over here, this last row. I had to replant more Zipper Cream peas. I have some coming up, but I have some missed spots. And I wanted to go ahead and try to get it as full as possible. And so hopefully those will be coming up in the next few days. My striped bush beans, they're coming up and they're doing okay. I don't think they're thriving as much as I remembered them doing last time I grew them in this garden, but whatever, they'll grow or they won't. That's my Santa Maria Pinquito beans. They're coming up and they're doing okay, so they'll grow or they won't. I have had a good bit of squash start coming up, getting some blooms. The plants aren't getting huge, which that's the theme of my whole garden, is that the plants aren't getting huge, which tells me they just don't have all that they need. The only ones that seem to not care, as usual, are these Unagi cucumbers. Got the seeds from Johnny's Seeds. They're one of those kind that don't need pollinators, and these plants are doing great. They're robust. They came out of the gate going good. They survived my putting the sea minerals on everything, and they seem to be doing okay. Let's see, down here, yeah, there's one of the Unagi cucumbers. They actually are one of these long type cucumbers. They don't call them, I don't think, a Japanese cucumber, but their name is Unagi, so they probably are. So I've got little blooms though, little cucumbers coming all along here. So hopefully that'll bust wide open soon and I'll get some. My contractor told me they're getting all kinds of squash and cucumbers and stuff already. I'm not, but you know, hey, whatever. This is a Sun Gold tomato here, and I do have one little tag of tomatoes coming on there. The plants, as usual, aren't getting that big, and I noticed a while ago this one got knocked over by the wind. I need to stake it up real quick. But I am getting some tomatoes on all this. There's one there. I am getting little tomatoes coming on, and I just feel like it'll get better when it gets better. A lot of my bell peppers are kind of struggling until you get to this one down here, these two, and they're thriving. And I got these two bell pepper plants, and I've got my eggplant plants at the same nursery. So whatever it was they were doing at that nursery is working, because other plants I bought at other nurseries are not doing that great. My Magic Cushaw is starting to spread and grow. It's doing good. I had to replant after killing the others, and I've got two more coming up, so hopefully they'll catch on. Santa Maria Pinquito beans, they're starting to go. These painted pony beans I'm giving up on. Now I have a few plants here that managed to survive my onslaught of the sea minerals, and a few of them I replanted and they came back. But you can see I had whole sides here plus part of this row that just will not come back. They just won't. I planted the seeds twice. It's been weeks ago. They just will not come up. So I came through here yesterday, and in the middle, kind of along the little trench, I planted black-eyed peas. And my black-eyed peas just seem to come up no matter what. So I'm going to hope that they come up, and maybe I can at least get a stand of black-eyed peas out of all this. You know, I kind of hope so. My lima beans are doing good. They're doing really good. They're starting to climb little thing, my cement panel. They're starting to climb. They look happy. Mama needs somebody to look happy. They look happy. So we're just going to roll with that. Good move planting those yellow hoppy beans. They seem to be doing good. Over here is my black-eyed peas. They're not as big as I guess I thought they would be right now, but they're happy. So I'm not going to say anything. More squash coming up here. More squash. We'll see how it goes. I'm surprised that this red Malabar spinach is not growing as fast as I thought it would, but it's growing in little floret things. They look happy, and from what I know of it, once they do start growing, you almost can't stop them. They just go everywhere. They'll grow all over your greenhouse if you have a greenhouse. And so I guess one day they're gonna hit their stride and do something. I guess I could harvest leaves while they're small, but I want to wait till they get a little growth on them before I do anything. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping they'll be climbing up these strings at some point. My tomatoes are kind of, you get what you wish for. Sometimes the tomatoes just sprawl out so much, and I have to spend so much time containing them and trimming limbs and giving them air and blah, 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 that it drives you crazy. Well, this year, no need to worry because they're not hardly growing. They're getting taller. They are. It's hard for y'all to see, but they're getting taller. And some of them are starting to put tomatoes off. So I'm good with that. This one has a little tomato right here. And I have I think, what is this it? Yeah. I don't know what kind that is. But anyway, oh, here it is. I think this one might be my Rosso Sicilian tomato coming on here. But they're starting to put tomatoes off. And they are actually growing a little bit. I know it's so hard on the camera to see anything. But I had to tie some of them up the other day because they were getting tall and wanting to fall over. This one's getting tall and wanting to fall over. But they're just not busting out like they normally do. And that worries me. The ones down here are the smallest, but they're also in the shade most of the day. This year just might be not the greatest year, and I'm going to keep showing you things, you know, if it comes to harvest times or whatever. There's going to be something made out of here. Probably cucumbers, a lot of cucumbers, which I don't really need a whole lot of. I was just seeing if I could grow a few fresh ones to eat and stuff. I've got plenty of pickles left from the last few years, so I didn't really need cucumbers, but I hadn't grown them in a little while, so I just kind of wanted to grow some. So might have those, hopefully black-eyed peas. Don't know about my tomatoes, I just don't know. I really wanted to grow and put up a lot of food this year. I really did, or at least have it in my freezer to use real handy like when you're making dinner at night, just as, you know, quick frozen this and frozen that, you know, you can pull out and cook really quick when you're making dinner. But this might not be the year for that. I've went ahead and booked 25 pounds of carrots on my Azure Standard order, and I might go ahead and book some potatoes before the potatoes, well, they ought to be coming in season in some places, but probably not up there where they're growing in Oregon. But anyway, I'll be in the next coming months probably ordering some potatoes from them, and just trying to kind of supplement and not really worry so much about whether it's mine or not. I'll need to get my soil test done, which I have not done yet because we've had nothing but rain and everything. We had 2 days, just 2 days of sunny 80-degree type weather, and then we went right back to overcast and rainy. We are supposed to be getting rain here in a little while, or a chance of it, so that's why I'm kind of filming, even though it's not the greatest of conditions. And then like Wednesday, we're supposed to have a lot of rain and stuff, and Tuesday, I'm not sure if that's tomorrow, I'm not sure if there's a chance, but it's like, hey dude, whatever. I can't control the weather. We need rain for the gardens, yet too much is just kind of stunting everything of mine. Other people's may be doing great. I think that next year it's going to probably show me that I need to lime my soil, which I should have done. And I did do that at Camp Joy, and I've told you that I loved my garden, you know, back at Camp Joy and all. Well, I did lime it a good bit before we ever planted, a couple of months before we planted. So that was probably the difference in that garden and what I'm dealing with now. Now, I had decent luck the last couple of years, and different spots of my yard gave me trouble, but in this big garden and in growing some other things, I had pretty good luck. But now, I might have shot my wad. My dirt might just need to be replenished. It might not be enough just to plant oats, cover crops on it every year. That gives it good tilth and everything, but maybe it's not giving it the nutrients that it needs. It may, the sea minerals just may not have done it either. I may need to lime it and give it some really good triple 13 or something, which I don't have a problem using. I don't use it all the time, but I'm not one that's going to sit here and say I'm not going to use it. Sometimes it just helps, especially when you're dealing with corn, You could see out there the difference between corn I didn't put anything on and the corn that I actually fertilized. It's about a 3 or 4 foot difference, so that makes a difference. There's just a lot of things going on in the peripheral of my life that's taking up a lot of my brain space, a lot of my thought time, and I need to work through some of those things. And we have my mom's cabin, hopefully going to get delivered, hopefully this week. That's another thing, is it's ready, but there's not a lot of communication going on with getting it here, and I'm going to try to deal with that today. I'm waiting on something else that I need to go pick up that was supposed to be ready last week, and it's going to be ready today, so that's taking up my day today. There's always a lot of details in people's lives. Not everybody can just go sit out in their garden all the time, or visit with their plants every day, or mitigate every little thing that comes up. I'm not dealing with hornworms right now. I'm not dealing with any kind of pests, so I can't complain too much. I think my problem is just mostly with my soil and with a nutrient deficiency. And I did put a little Fertilome stuff on it yesterday before we had a rainstorm. We got the rainstorm, so maybe that'll kind of help boost some of these tomatoes and stuff. Maybe I'll burn them, I don't know. This year is kind of a hey dude, whatever year. The weight of the world feels like it's on my shoulders sometimes, to have us prepared for everything and to have food and to make sure we're stocked or we're growing or there's a plan. And a lot of times things will come up that make you realize you're not in control and the weight of the world is not your responsibility. And you need to take some of this stress off of yourself, because there's enough other stress to go around from a lot of different directions. So I'm going to take it off of my shoulders to try to have this great, beautiful garden to show everybody every couple of weeks, because I can't make things grow when there's not a lot of sunshine out. I can't make things grow if I didn't really realize there was a nutrient deficiency, and I don't really know how to mitigate it while things are coming up. You don't want to burn it again like I did already. And so it may just be that this year's garden gives me something. I usually always get something. I keep reseeding seeds of different kinds. I put the black-eyed peas in yesterday. I put okra in yesterday, just in all kind of different spots. And I wasn't even really going to grow okra, but I put it in. And so we'll see. We'll probably get something at some point. I usually can harvest stuff all the way till August or whatever, but okra and everything. And so we'll see what happens. I tend to get a little down sometimes when all those peripheral things in my life are also kind of dragging me down. And I'll get down about my garden and just think, this is it. You know, it's not going to be a good year and blah, blah, blah. And then later on, I realized that I should have just chillaxed and I should have just waited, because the plants that want to grow will grow. Those that want to sprout will sprout. Those that want to bear fruit will bear fruit. And I'm really not in 100% control of it all. So I'm gonna let it go. This is Lainey at Hilltop Home Place. Hey, whatever, dude. I hope y'all's gardens are doing good. Y'all keep in touch. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.